Also, now you can hear me. Excellent. So I don't know why, but I had to reconnect my microphone. Let's see. How are we on time? 5 minutes. It's better than 15 minutes late, right? Right? We're here. It's all good. It is all good in the neighborhood of the Twin Lake Minstrels. It is all good in the neighborhood of the Mireneye. It is all good in the neighborhood of you. The neighborhood of you. Oh yeah. I'm still tweaking some things here and there. Adjusting in my seat as we go. Yo. Yo. Can you tell I just woke up? Hi. Oh, would you look at that? Arctic's first time chatter. Welcome in. Hope you will enjoy your time here. We're just getting started really. So I'm curious, like, how did you find your way here? It's I'm happy you chose to write. Today we're going to be working a little bit on a system for Unreal Engine that I've been working on for a few months. Very cool. Yeah, every now and then on this channel we do like a little bit of like a blueprint hotline sort of thing where like people can just like fire questions and thoughts they have. Cool. Welcome in. So I'm working on something that's sort of like a gameplay framework that's supposed to make making games a little bit approachable or easier isn't necessarily the right term, but it's about streamlining the approach to how we create a system so that we have to think less about where's data going to live, what is responsible for that data, so we can focus more on just building the functionality. That's really the core of it. As for my bot command up there, where you got the game wishlisting, that's the game I'm working on. So, two different things, two different beasts. The game I've been working on for many years, and the asset for the marketplace just a few months. So I'm gonna be launching up the project. I forget that I don't have, like, let me show you this, guys. I forget that I don't have TagCore in here with all my plants and stuff. Like here, like pictures of all the bugs and stuff for Dynasthir. And like minor things I wanna fix, but I do forget. I don't have a like I do have down here. I don't have a link to my project here. So that's maybe that's the first thing we should do here is we should create that link for us. So I don't have to go through the launcher every time. This is the project we want to open. I don't quite succinctly remember exactly how to make a hard link. That's not how you do it. There's some way that you can... Yeah, I think it's like this. I think. No, that doesn't look quite right either. No. Let me borrow the ones down here. Because I don't remember. Oh, that's launching the wrong thing. I want to get the second text. There it is. So it really is like the brackets. The link. But there's a way to do this, like, is by dragging it in, basically. This is gonna be tect core X. Then we get the link. And now we're like launching everything, like even main game twice here. Launch all of the things. Gotta launch all of the things. You're trying to do a really simple tycoon game with a ChatGPT as my help, but it's not going so well. ChatGPT, as much as it can help sometimes with certain things, it also doesn't really know what it's talking about. Like, it can have a great direction, but then it will just flat out lie to you about like a certain feature that doesn't exist anymore, or it will use a term that isn't like within the even framework of what you're working on. So it might have learned something from like another programming language, and then it applies that term to something you're doing inside of like Blueprint or Unreal Engine, and then it's not relevant to like a node name or anything like that. So it might just like, it makes stuff up when it comes to programming, and you got to be smart enough to sort of like see those and call them out. And that's tricky. Why am I on this map? I know I moved some map stuff around recently. Why is this content folder empty? Did I not copy it over? I think I know what's going on. Hello. I think I know what's going on. Because I was copying the project the other day to do like a branch, and I don't think I got a clean copy of the files over. You see me looking down, it's because I have chat on my phone. Because I only have one screen to work with. And I need to open it up. Yeah, but like, ChatGPT certainly is like a beast. So what's your current problem with ChatGPT? What's the thing you're trying to solve? Oh, that's nice. See, I'd like a little bit more ambience coming through here. Now I'm well armed to actually do some intense stuff. So this is tact core, essentially. It's a more data-oriented approach to interactions and different types of interactions. Like, you can do a bunch of things in it. Grab a sword, why don't you? And hit with it and smash it against the wall, and that's all cool. And normally you can talk to this guy. Feel free to. You go into as much detail as you feel confident for and want to share. And now this guy is a talker, but we might want him to be treated as a cool sword instead, so we just give him the tag of a cool sword, and now we can actually use him and hit with him and throw him away. Right? So this is all based around the idea that these like aren't objects in the world. They're not, well, of course they're objects, but there's no logic that lives on this actor specifically. It's just a skeletal mesh, and then we do skeletal mesh things with the skeletal mesh. These are just static meshes, and we do static mesh things with the static meshes. Right? That's sort of like part of the idea. That way, every functionality we define for anything that's a specific thing in the world, we can attach it to that thing. So it doesn't matter, like these things are right now tagged as mannequin gun, which means it'll shoot mannequins, and this one is a cool gun which is shoots regular projectiles. But say for this, for instance, if it's not a mannequin gun, maybe it can be a cool sword, which means we should be able to pick it up and, you know, swipe with it. I can't really see that it's in my hand, but yeah. I did throw it away, but it's not attached to the character in a way that, you know, necessarily makes sense, but there you go. The attachment point isn't the same as like saying, you know, here is the pivot point for the sword, here is the pivot point for the character. Here it's, I mean, that should be fairly like consistent. It's a good pivot point, but yeah, it's obviously maybe like too short. If the thing was long, you would probably see it. Yeah, there it is. I can throw it away. Perfect example of the power of Tactcore. Yeah, so even like the door thing is just like, it's just an identity, so door here is just two static meshes put together, and one of them has the tag door. But if I wanted something else to act like a door, like if I want this guy to act like a door, I can just give him the tag for being a door. And then he will rotate back and forth like a door. So how do we then keep track of all of these tags? Well, ideally, I'm working towards where you can just use a specific tool that grants tags. We have the... Man, I'm so bummed that I had all the folders colored in the other project, like among the other project files, and it loses that when you move things between projects. It's very sad. All these were colored specifically. So sad. Usually the bluer they are, the more object-like they are, and the more this color, I'd say, the more I think of them as, or like purplish, I think of them as data. I want to dock this guy there for now. Gym Tycoon game where I have a really simple map ready with 30 gym machines. I want them to be interactive so the player starts with one machine, and after getting enough points they can unlock the next one. The loop goes on until the last machine. There will be a machine that is interactive where player can constantly click it and get points. The problem is that ChatGPT forgets part about the plan. That sounds like just like something ChatGPT would do. How many machines do you have currently that are in a... If they're isolated into machines and objects, how many machines do you have that are like in a working state? I'll give you like unit test them. Like go to that machine and be like, do you work? Do you work? Do you work? Right, I was looking for the style tool, or rather, it's nowadays called the identity tool because that's what it does. So with this, you can do kind of cool things where, like, you're curious about the bed and what identities it has. You can look at them like this. You get like a list, what layer the tag of that identity is, and you can be like, okay, so we know tag bed is all in pickups, purchasable, interactables, and it's layer 1 on the component tags. So you can be like, okay, so what does a bed mean? And then you get all the data for the bed. So this is just basically used as an index for whatever information we're getting for that object. And like if you're ever confused, you can use like go to identity tables or go to identities, and those are like the two main things that you're ever gonna like really worry about, except for like making the thing you want to make. That's the idea. Like less digging in folders, more just being here and thinking of cool things you can be. Well, ideally it'd be something like this, right? More like thinking of the cool interactions you want to make. You just copy the thing over and then you give it the style you want it to have, etc, etc, etc. Which, by the way, not certain why, but it is sort of not showing there's supposed to be a fold here for style. That is at least a little bit strange. None of them work yet because I'm new to blueprints, and the blueprint guide that ChatGPT has given me hasn't made. Okay. So new to blueprint, that's an exciting place to be in to start with. I have like 10 videos I made for someone of how to create like an interaction system. It's just very flat, like just showing. But interaction systems are sort of like fun to figure out on your own as well. It's a good experience to like think about how interactions are made. One of my favorite ways to do interactions, well, I've started really enjoying this, but one of my favorite ways otherwise is to, you create the sort of actor object that you want for any interaction, space interactable. And then once you have that, you would add like a overlap. Oh, a box overlap? Am I tripping? No. Box collision, that's the one. And the point of this box collision isn't to... The point of this box collision isn't to say when you hit the collision, that's when you do things. Or like when you overlap. So you have begin overlap, and then you have an end overlap. Dispatcher call, essentially, when those things happen. So then, make sure you have a player controller, which is just like a fancy way of saying the first receiver of input to your player, like keyboard, mouse, controller input, really. As long as you're not in UI, that would be that. And on the end overlap, you can say disable input. And this would be how you discern from one interaction to the other, essentially. It's like they don't share this overlap box in any certain way. So then what you can do is build out your, say, whatever button it might be, say, that's be left mouse button, for instance. Now, under 5 uses enhanced input, so it's not quite like this. You define the input and then you would do the thing, but then oh, I'm sorry, this is in the wrong order. So what we're saying here is for this target, which is this actor, we're adding it to the player's input stack, which means this object will be considered for input by the player. So that's basically how that part works. And then you can build out any interaction of with the object over here. That's you might need a little bit more like logic to figure out that it's actually like player overlapping, so it's not like another thing triggering this thing on the player. So like other actors equals the player or whatever logic that might be relevant, but this will still work like a very like fundamental core. And then you take the interaction event, or once you're within that interaction box, you can just like go into it, hit the key that you want, probably enhanced input. Enhanced input is a beast on its own. I think this still works if you want to debug it. I think there's also debug keys. I think those still also work properly. Epic is moving away from this. I don't know exactly to which extent regular role inputs work. But they're still in the editor, so they should have some functionality at least. This should still be valid though. So that's like my favorite way of doing the interactable. I usually then have what is referred to as a virtual function. So thanks. yeah, I've done this part a few times. This might be a little bit like of an advanced workflow, but I then do this as like a virtual function. So this is like my base class, and then I would proceed making a child class out of this. Right, and this would be what the machine is. So say this is going to be my the example you said. Well, it's a gym. I don't know what they're called in English. Bench press, right? So that would be your bench press. And now you don't really have to care about any of these. The only thing you have to care about is override, interact. If there's like a different interaction. You can or cannot care about the parent interaction if you have certain things that are true for every interactable. If not, you can customize your logic here, whatever that logic might be for that machine. And you actually don't have to do anything more here. But then, you know, because you want to customize, you can be like, okay, but I want the static mesh here. It's not called static mesh, are they? Yes, they are. And like, okay, that's my bench press. That's what bench presses look like, right? They're spheres. It's plain old spheres. Looks like your typical bench press, right? So essentially, in discrete steps, that's what I would do. I have a variant of this in video form that I made for someone. if you go to the Discord that we have, I can share those videos with you if you're curious about that. It is literally like the steps we just did with some variants to it, if that would be helpful. But it's not even voiced, it's literally just like going through the motions. But yeah, for a small project, it's also perfectly like valuable to do like a machine by themselves. But here we're leveraging the power of being able to inherit functionality from one object to the other, which is really nice. Like things you add to the base class, they can be transferred over to our bench press. Awesome. Let me hook you up here. Let's do this. I think we can just do this. That link should work for you. We have a bunch of cool developers in there, but mostly it's just people, you know, interested in the game and stuff. It's not primarily a developer channel. It's really for the company or that I'm working with, or my company. Yes. Ahoy! Isik is one of those developers. Isik is on a different level when it comes to blueprints. Nice. I'm happy to have you. Yeah, I threw together a salad, a tuna salad. Just devoured it before stream. I was like sleeping up until now. I'm basically on Japanese timing. That's what it feels like. Good to see you, Isik. Isik, I know he's been fighting today with AI work. Yes. No, I was saying that Artux here is new to blueprints, so we had a short little chatty about interactions for his tycoon type gym game. And he's been getting his feet wet. Is that the term for it? Yeah. He's getting his hands greasy with ChatGPT. And then I was talking about the channel, and I was like, Isik is over there as well. And he's like, just on another level when it comes to developing blueprint stuff for Unreal. Honestly, not a whole lot of people like us with so much experience in the field. Yeah. I've had accounts of it confusing a concept in another programming language for a thing you can do in blueprints. I've had it also advise old, like using old things that are deprecated. I also had it like advise experimental stuff that require plugins. It's kind of like for blueprints, you'll come up with ideas and give some direction, but each one of those steps could be like a red herring. Less so with regular programming, I figure, if it knows the programming language well. Like for Odin Lang, when I was trying to program a little bit in Odin Lang, I basically fed it a little bit of code that was like how the code works, and then it sort of understood. But otherwise, it would give me mostly like C-like code. So that's yeah. You gotta be smart enough to be able to call it out, to use it efficiently, and other than that, the main use of it is that it's really available whenever, whatever the fuck you want. What are the latest things that I've used it for? This could be interesting. What? Right. I had a line of dialogue. Yes, it is. It is possible to switch to a C++ project. So what you do basically is you add a C++ class to the project, which you can do from the editor itself. I think it's going to prompt you to restart. I'm not confident in that, but it might prompt you to restart. But then when you do add the class or whatever, it will give you that. I think Ezek's advice here is good. It depends a little bit if you have some prior programming knowledge. If literally blueprints are what's new to you and you have some programming knowledge, I can see the advice being a little bit different. But otherwise, I think I agree with Ezek on this one. It's a light introduction into programming like thoughts and patterns. And if you dive into the C++ thing immediately, there are so many terms that are not going to make sense on the fundamental level. That's what I'm thinking, that it might be even more overwhelming. Right. I'd say there's probably enough good tutorials that it's gonna save you time to look them up instead of going the ChatGPT route here. Yeah. Man, I honestly did rely on it for like half of the logic for like collision detection in the silly like Odin Lang game that I'm working on. Working is a big term, but I'll show you. But like I learned what I know about Odin Lang in like 2 weeks between documentation and Odin Lang, basically. Documentation and a little bit of ChatGPT. This basically, it loads from a level editor. It's kind of cool. So I can actually like there's a separate level editor that I didn't make that it loads levels from. And these are entities that you like can interact with and shit. But like half of the collision code that I programmed here is like a bouncing between ChatGPT and the I imported the entire like library for Raylib and the core of Odin, so I could actually look what's going on there. So I could be like, okay, what is let's see, for finding a certain like check collision rectangles. I can go to its definition. Okay. So it just takes a rectangle. It's two rectangles. Yeah. So a rectangle is like saying a vector 4 basically in Odin Lang. If I remember correctly, it's been a spell. There might be more to rectangle actually. There might be origin point as well. I think there might be 4 vertices and an origin point. So you can have different like rotational centers. And I think, yeah, that sounds about right. Infinity! Yeah. Honestly, like, Feel free to just hang out here and come over to the Discord. You can always ask questions. You're welcome, always, to do so. And if we're not like available, or someone is available that has like a good answer, then I'm certain that someone can find you like a good video for that covers sort of like the your use scenario. I feel it's almost like I'm advertising the Discord here. Trying to figure out the best method for Arthix here to get the help to give him a good start of his journey. We're certainly not like, nice, welcome. I'm happy to have you. There is a very like developer dense Discord that I hang out with as well, but that's purely Unreal Engine nerds basically, which is the one for Leaf Branch, and Leaf Branch has amazing tutorials on YouTube too. He's one good fucking dude to follow, if you know what I mean. I think it's still backwards. Is this not shooting mannequins anymore? What's going on? Oh, I probably forgot to change it back to cool mannequin gun. I think mannequin gun is the identity of it. I think we should really make the thing that can grant components. Yeah, there it is. I just needed the correct term. Yeah, we should work on the tool that applies if you select something that you can apply that identity to the component texture. I think I might add in the dialog tag, the second one here, automatically, just so that people get that automatically. But first, we have a small bug then to find here. Also, I'm moving on to work a little bit on tag core. Feel free to ask any secondary questions as we go forward in the stream, like things you're struggling with, or like specific parts of the process. You know, keep it going, basically. Keep it going. We need to go back to that tool. I've got to actually open up the... So I don't understand why it's not showing me this field here. Categories editable. And... editable style selection. It's here. You see, you're the guy who's the expert on this. Why is it not showing this at all now? I basically moved my project over, and it's just the feel is just gone. Why is Unreal Engine like this? Oh, got it showing something. Why is it like this? Refresh all nodes. Ah, it's not gonna allow me to unless I change something. That should be good enough. Yeah, no, I understand the coming from that direction. I think we all end up there in some manner for whatever reasons. Yeah, that's what happened. I copied or duplicated the folders to do a test with the thing. And now it's... Style selection, prop group. Style selection, specification. Oh, with the plugin? I don't have the plugin, do I? One day I will. This is, everything was working so well. I'm very curious to see if I go into the folders and I move things back again. So essentially, I nuked this somehow? Yeah, nothing is in here anymore. Oh wait. No, it's all here. What's going on then? Why is it opening the wrong map on the other one? Something weird is going on here. You need it! Now! I've lived without it for such a long time. I'm a manual person. Oh no, it's here. Perfect. Identity tool works here. Nice. Okay, let's not do development here then until I can figure that out. Let's actually work on it over here. So let's work on apply identity. Feels good, man. That's how you fix a bug. It's like ignore it. Ignore that this is the way it's supposed to look like. I don't see a difference. So funny. It's sort of interesting when you start to be able to call out Unreal on its bullshit, where you're like, no, Unreal, now you're just being weird about this. Status part, actor tag part, custom data, that's true. So it's gonna be very close to the first part of this, I think. Obviously not caring about that part. So this. So where's the actor tag handled here? Am I missing it? No, here it is, set target array element. Saturday stream, let's go. I think that's gonna be the format in the future. It just works out better for everyone. Me included. Well, we can just copy this guy over and we will remove the element that we don't need. Excellency, how are you doing, my friend? It's good to see you. We've been talking about interaction systems on today's stream. One of my it is one of my favorite things because it's such a fundamental thing to learn about. It really gets your hands greasy and your feet wet. So, oh la 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 la, apply identity, huh? Maybe we'll have a select all of identity too, but I don't want this to be very crowded in, you know, 3 feels good as in terms of these buttons here, right? Yeah, I don't know. It would be nice to have a select all of identity. We'll probably make it and then figure out if it's fitting. What are you up to today, my friend? Me and Texcellency, we've had 2 very good days, I would say. Played some Battleship. Middle of the night. There's rain. Is that for a follow? Hold on. Hold on. I haven't figured out what everything means on Twitch. I'm I'm like a virgin newborn. It should be on that's the follow. Yeah, I guess that's the follow. That's a lot for a follow. Tidying up and chilling. Yeah. What I was gonna say, me and Texcellency, we've been playing golf and like a mini golf and Battleship. Just silly games together in the middle of the fucking night. Well, middle of the fucking day, I guess, or towards evening US time, I guess, is the actual term for it. Time is so convoluted in my life right now. So very, 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 very convoluted. I realize now that I don't have the dashboard for Nightbot open, so I can't see the things over there either. Yeah. Thank you for the follow, by the way. Thank you. I hope you will. I hope I will continue to be able to provide something that you find value in. I switched the project and I found the place. Like, I did not fix it more so than just like ignore it. I put it in the like bin. I just went back, basically. If you can't go forward, go backwards, and everything works. Oh, it's for static mesh actors. So this is a weak part of the project, actually. So we can do this on static meshes right now, but we can't do it on... I forgot that part. So we can't do this on this guy. Identities work, but we couldn't apply a style to him. That's a bit sad. It's because we're getting the static mesh component. So this would have to be abstracted away, or like it has to be compartmentalized into some sort of handling for static meshes and then some sort of handling for other types of actors in the world. Static meshes, skeletal meshes. Mostly, style isn't going to be a thing on skeletal meshes. They have sort of like... But you know, it's fun to try to do it as generic as possible, but we also don't want to fight the engine. This isn't necessary at all. We're jointing that. And then we transact the object. And instead of setting... So saying static mesh actor tags. Yeah, that would be the style. So what we want is to get the component. No. Yeah, there it is. I was like, am I tripping? Tags. Rewrite this. That should do it in terms of basic functionality for adding identities to static mesh actors. Let's comment this out. Adding set identity on. Right now it's set identity on actor, but it's not that generic yet, but it will be. Mark my words! Mark my words! I will turn into a British evil emperor to make this work. Are you ready, chat? Are you ready? I'm gonna summon my best Merryweather. Don't know why that's the first evil emperor that came to my mind was Merryweather. He's a good boy though. You guys know who I'm talking about? Why are you complaining? You don't have anything to complain about. Oh, okay. I don't need you. Flat out, I don't need you. So where do we get the specification of tag from? Oh, this is... Okay, yeah. This would be where we get the specification of tag from, I think. The row name, correct? Yeah, no, we're in the clear here. So now it's gone. God damn it! It's gone. Why? Why are you doing this to me? No. Why? Why are you gone? My editable field. Why is it that when I work on you, everything turns to ashes? How am I supposed to be an evil emperor now, chat? How am I supposed to do it? How did this happen? I don't understand. Let's restart. You can see all the behind the scenes. Having one screen is a fucking adventure, man. So hard to do anything. It took me months to get used to having my bar like this. Like not on the side, that's been on my, I've always done that for many years. But just having it pop out and in so I can maximize the screen size basically. What if I copy you? Right, and now it's an undefined object. That reminds me that there's a part at the very start where you set the object. Why am I haunted? Why is this so cursed? It was working like a second ago. The only thing I've done is like added a fucking button to the layout. We're out here, pros struggling to make just UI, and then there's people actually trying to make games here. We're the fucking noobs here, you know. I am. I'm not gonna drag you guys down with me now. And then what? Like this, it makes them? No. I was just trying to see how it actually like pasted in. It's almost like it's like your data tables do not exist, mate. So it like can't fill them with anything. Like this field, and now it doesn't exist. Oh, I got the style selection. This thing just needs to be folded out. It's just missing that one thing. Maybe it's just not worth having it be like yeah. See, I just wanted to open to this, basically. That's all I want. That's all. This will confuse people less, I think, at the end of the day. But I really don't like you having to do this dance all the time. This is all I want, right? So much nicer. Okay, anyways, so now if we go to our nice little friendly wall here, hidden tags, we see it has a wall, and then we can select from, like, say, our building styles, floor for instance, and say apply identity, and now change to floor. Excellent. And it doesn't change this index, which is, you know, that's what we want. And we can select all style, and now it's going to select all of those. including this guy? No, he doesn't have floor style yet. That's right. He doesn't have floor style yet. That's identity and style is different. Yes, everything working according to plan. Obviously, this is a wall, though. So interactables, I think, is a wall. Yeah, and apply identity. So now you can fully be just you and the identity tool as you're working. That's pretty neat, I'd say. That's pretty neat. I guess to bring that together, we need to do a select all of identity. But first, I think I would like to tackle genericizing if it's a static mesh or a skeletal mesh. I just don't want it to bloat down the experience. So really, like, that's also part of it where like you'd have to handle it in the same loop, which you can as long as it's an actor. So we want to, here's where we want to splice any type of logic like that. Right. Which means we have the array element, which sort of means that we're looking at a function here. Can we confidently collapse this to a function for static mesh handling? Can we do it? How generic is it? Yeah, no, this would be specifically for style on static mesh actors. I'm not convinced we have to do this here. This is taking what sort of thing? Primitive components. So style can be its own array. It can be its own function. So we don't have to copy that. Since it is dependent on a loop and we want to wait for that and transact, this transact object should probably be on the loop over here. Just saying. It's a pretty wild place to have a transact object. I'd also, to do this for the mesh actors, I would have to transact that object as well. So we have the static mesh object itself. No, we're targeting this specific object, not this. We might have to look further into that, but for now, we send in style. We send in a mesh component, and we collapse this to a set style, basically. And that's about as generic as I can make the styles, I think. Set style on primitive, I think that's a good name for it. You sort of infer this on input and styles. I think that's S styles is okay as a name. It's literally what it is. We have two output pins here. Let's like sort of converge them together so we can keep track of them. Do a little bit of cleanup here. Next part is figuring out, this is the unique part, this piece of code here. Depending on the cast, really, That's one way to do it. I don't think we can do a select by class. We can do a select class, but not by class. Yeah, I think a cast is the only thing we can do here because it's such a like it's so generic, right? This would literally just be like whatever class you want to handle. If you need to extend this to be other things than static meshes and skeletal meshes for setting styles and stuff, any primitive, you'd have to do this step. You have to do this step not for style, but for the component type, because the component is of that specific type. No, wait, sorry. That's for style as well, sorry. That's where it's specific. Wait. This is now a primitive. This is not now a primitive. This is wrong. Just take a primitive component object, so that's what it should be. God damn it. And a return here. I asked you to collapse and you don't even understand to add a return node. What are you, insane? And align it with this cross here. Go back here, check that everything is fine. Now it's generic, so we can pass in whatever. And it just happens that we need to set the style on this specific component because it's the component that has the material, not the actor itself. You know, whatever material is the receiving end of the style. Generic is the word. And I am a bird. Apparently. What are they called? The fools something? Did you guys see the video where it's like birds have like just weird ass fucking names? And all of them are like sexual. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if a bird would be called like cock blocker. Okay. So it is the actor receiving the style tag. Yes. Okay. So we're clear on what to do. Set style params on primitive. Okay. And this would be get this like outside of the scope of this so it doesn't collapse them down. Set style on actor. Actor object, yes. Why is style here? Oh yeah, it outputs style here, that's... Do we need to? Are we using it? Yes, we are using it here. Do I want that? Or do I just wanna... I think I just wanna do this and not, like... It's gonna be another call to a function, but then we can forgo this. Yeah, no, bird names are fucking wild. Then we can forego sending style in here and have that be a clean. And then we copy one less set of variables to memory and we just grab them instead directly. So that's not the worst. It's one more node. There's one less thing scrambling around in memory. Right? And the Blueprint virtual machine will be happy. Because I demand it to be happy. So. Did I do it? Now I can do the cast to the thing. I can do this. I'm like surprised. Yeah, that's where it's gonna. So is this not a primitive component? Oh, I need to get the skeletal mesh component. Yes, okay. That's where these things are different, primarily. I suppose the cast could be over here, not over here. We can set style without. We can set the tag before that, so we can move these around. But I sort of like the order set style and style params, and then we do get them in order, so it's okay, I think. This is gonna drive me nuts if I don't do it. Okay, okay. That's nice. Now it's extended to both skeletal mesh actors and static mesh actors, and we didn't really bloat anything. I would say we made it a bit clearer, which is the whole point of it. It's not abstract that you can't see what's going on. Set style on selected actor. Style is part actor tag, part custom tag, part custom data. Digs into each component layer. But the actor finds tags does not deal with actor tags, which is reserved to get style. Yes. Set identity on actor. So if we then want to set identity, like that's a distinct different one, right? It's not like we can copy some of that logic over here, can we? Just get the static mesh component instead. This is an actor input, so we couldn't do it that way. But we just like do this instead. And we will say set identity on actor. Yes. We'll leave this out of it. This is only for getting a static mesh component, so this can be a generic actor, I believe. No, it cannot be a generic actor. How is this supposed to work? Huh? How is it? How? Tell me. It's like became an enemy of the blueprint. What? How is it supposed to work? Damn you. See, here it works. because I can get the tags from it directly. Does that mean I can't genericize this down to something? Because primitive component has a tag? Maybe? Is that a thing? No. But this is a generic actor component, so if I keep these things outside, then we can do it. Because this can be a... Okay, now it's coming together again. I don't know, I just like naming things the things that are supposed to go into them. It feels a little bit silly when I do it, but then I feel good about it when I'm reading. This is so cool. We're doing it, chat. We're doing it. We're finishing tag core. What a journey. Done. Nah, I gotta document like some variables and shit. And fix this, whatever this is. I see. Cheeky. Well, I guess we also have to test it. Maybe. Finishing it for the 4th time. Yep. Yep. Pack it up. Pack it up, pack it in. I suppose it's going to be a 5th time because I do want a select all of identity. A lot of times identity and style are going to be overlapping because wall might also be literally what the style is named, but not always. It depends on your project and I don't want to make that assumption, so. Select stylable with the selected identity. That's really not what's going on here. Select stylable with stylable of this style. Select all stylable with this style. The cool thing with identity and styles being linked through the data table like this is that all these buttons have one input that works for all of them. It depends on if you grab a style table or another table. So it's like you have one input for all your tools. And since that's where all your data lives inside of the data tables, you got all your information for all of those things if you want to grab them for whatever purpose you want. It's so good. Fuck yeah. Yeah, Typecore has spent much more time in the oven cooking as ideas than it has in production. I don't do a lot of blueprinting on this project, not really. It's not... Like, what's the amount of blueprints in this project? If we do a filter by blueprint class, this we're not really using. This we're not really using. These are just for example character, right? So, well, this we're using and this we're using. Well, no, this we're using and that we're using. We have two blueprints in TAG-Core that are specific to TAG-Core. I don't know. I don't know how many blueprints your project has. I'm sure it's a lot. Oh, that's so silly. It's gonna be like, you know how you look at an asset on the marketplace and a selling point is literally like, oh, we ship with 24 tools, like 24 blueprint tools or whatever. And I'm gonna be like, yeah, I've got 0. Like there's no blueprints in this blueprint project. No, it's part of it is because TAG-Core is like a big singleton essentially. And it doesn't have to be that way. It's just, for example, like all of TAG-Core is just an example, really. It's special, yeah. Okay, so but if you look at like data tables and data assets instead, you get a different story. So let's do that. Yeah, expected. Because this is where, like, this is all the data. And then you double that for the PDAs. Oh, and structs. I guess they're also like, we're like, so such an integral part of it because we do make a lot of structs. Can you filter for structs? Yes. Yes, of course you can. 53. I would say I'd like to get the PDAs in here as well to get like a final like idea of what's the number. Because I spent most time just creating data. I don't see it that I can, but there's gonna be double this amount essentially with some variants because I have a few of these are copies of the same one. So it's something like 70 maybe objects, I'm guessing. Oh, this is 53 by itself. No. 29, so conservatively about 80 objects. Or 80 things. 80 data. But yeah. Let's get back to making the final button here. The final one that I can think of anyways. It's almost like I don't want to finish it. You know? I've had a lot of fun making it. And I also feel a little bit like there's still so much that can be done, but it's also cooked enough that it's like ready, right? Oh, so this is also interesting. So this gets all actors of static mesh class. That's something to think about. So this wouldn't select skeletal meshes. But this is a generic actors. And then you have a selection of actor objects, and you need to have an output of actor objects, and there's nothing here that asks you to be specific. There's no reason to. There's no reason to be specific about this type of actor class, not really. Is there a, like... We only have a set selected, so I guess I have to gather them all together first, right? Like this selection here. No, I can't do it to selection because that's literally the last ones, and then we set the selected of those. So here really we... How is this? Like, I get all selected level actors after... Okay, I... Literally the way this works is I get all actors of a specific type in the level. I then loop through them to actually make a new selection. I guess that's not a silly way to do it. I could just loop through all actors on the map and then cast them to see if they're the thing they're supposed to be, and then add them to the list. But this way, I don't have to loop it. There's probably a loop going on behind the scenes as well, but it looks kind of neat. We could add this to an array of actors and just run the same operation basically, but on that as we append those two things together. That's how you extend that in a simple way, I think. Where did he go? Actors to select. Just a little bit special. I mean, I'm okay with this name, honestly. It's very direct. And we use append. I can never, like, if I say append on this, I always get confused. It's like array to add the source array to. And this says target array, and then source array. The array to add to the target array. So this is the target array? Yeah, I suppose. So I do this. Right? Right, chat, right. Oh. I'm having lots of fun this stream. I hope you guys are having a good time too. Feel very like in the zone. Maybe it doesn't make for the most amazing commentary, but I think that's always like the fear of the streamer. It's like, oh, I'm not commenting good enough. I'm not doing better. We are here to make, you know, make tools, talk game dev, that sort of shit, hang out and have a good time. So then we use the exact same thing down here because that's what we want to do. Yeah. Yeah, we might as well just like copy it from the bottom up. It's very similar. So this feels like it's heading in the direction of becoming a function. We will only be able to get the identity of the first tag, which really should be the identity for your entire object, unless there's something like the table flip. So here, where there's like one identity for the top one, downside and upside, so you can flip it both ways, basically. I don't even think that's necessary. I think we have systems to handle this. But we could handle this on our own. But the thing is, this isn't one object. It's two objects. If it was one object, we could actually do it in one go. So that's a design problem, not a systems problem. I like flexibility, but it's also like stupid. So I'm not gonna design for stupid. I'm gonna design for smart. Yeah, how is that working now for you? Okay, so here's the diverging point here. Because this will have to do this one again. Or we have to do this dance basically, right? Because I can see no other way to get the component of this. Static mesh. I don't know why I was stuck on skeletal mesh. Tag contain, add to selection. Kind of simple. It's the same logic both ways, really. Also, risk for becoming a function. I'd like these to be aligned so you can see they are the same functionality basically, but on a component level. We're gonna need two of those. We're only gonna need two of those because we wanna yeah. You think? Yeah. Are you not entertained? What movie is that from? I forget. Oh, now we're finally here. Oh, for like anyone like joining us, just hanging out, chilling, lurking. I appreciate you guys. What sparked that thought was a lot of you guys who might be here might not know about some of the channel interactions and things like that. So there are some cool redeems you can do for your points as you're lurking. Like building a tower. Yes, we have like a separate game, sort of. It's a level in the main game for Dynasthir. And by spending the channel points, you can actually place a piece. It's like a only up style map. And it's really fun. Until 25k, you're gonna name something in the game. That might need to be higher. That might need to be higher. I'm not gonna make it higher. I'm not gonna scam you. I'm not gonna scam you. But yeah, I have some points to refund, it seems, by the way, because the incentive for Coffee Talk Live has run out. It's good. I think I might need to make it higher. I care so much about the world, you know. But then the note says that like we worked with the designer to name something, so I think I'm safe. It's like I have a veto of some sort. I'm scared, chat. I'm scared I'm gonna run this function and something's gonna break. So now if I say select all of identity, that is a lot of something. I think that's just too much. What am I looking for? Tomato? Yeah, these should be tomato. These are not tomato, I'm pretty sure. If components contain tomato, then add to selection. I don't see how that could be. We're clearing selection. We are not clearing actors to select. Neither here nor there. You're at 3.5k? Man. That's still quite a lot, but 25k does take some time. I say that, but like the fucking I was gifted a tier 3 on a friend's channel basically by another viewer. Targeting me specifically, I don't even know why, but I appreciate it. And man, I went from having like 0 for a while because I spent it to like almost 10k in like one stream. So for like the tier 3s, it really is nothing, it seems. And I suddenly understand why people like Shy Lily and shit. They have like people who can activate these like 25,000, 100,000 things. Party Parrot, how it go? It goes well. I'm ironing out some issues, but you know, last week we fixed the issue where this guy could not be handled as a cool sword. So now, if he is a cool sword, you can just go up and have a good time with him. So you can grab him, slice with him, throw him away. Everything you can do with a cool sword, right? This is the gun for projectiles. This is the mannequin gun. Guns are backwards right now. Don't ask. But this is how it is. No errors also, that's kind of cool. And that's all like used identities. So if you get associated identities and we're like mannequin gun, and we're like, okay, I don't want it to shoot mannequins, but I'd like to shoot arms. Then now it's that. It will shoot arms. I don't quite know what to expect. But it works. Right? Ah, fuck me, man. I fucking love this tool, or like this framework that I've made. It's powerful. So right now I'm trying to make it select everything by a certain style. So if I had tomato over here and I go select all of identity, then it should select only tomatoes. It works with style. So if I say tomato and style, it gets them. I guess here would be style would be, they're also tomato by identity. So I don't know, chat. Why isn't it doing the thing? Why is it getting the wrong one? Yeah, I have a suspicion this might actually, if I do good on the promotion of it, this might actually sell well. That's not what I wanted to do. Building styles. There we go. Like if I do well on making a good showcase video with a bit of humor in it, with some nice workflow to build something, alongside just like some good tutorializations, documentations, and some good pictures of it, I think it could actually sell well. It has potential. It has potentiale. Which would be nice, so we can actually finish Dynasthir with some money. So what's going on? Like being able to grab the identity from the thing would be like pretty much like, I think it's the final piece in terms of functionality. I know I said that before, but it's I struggle thinking of many other things now. And I think from the little feedback I've gotten from people playing with it, I think that's also one of the big ones. You know, we had that conversation, me and you, Crimson, where we talked about a tool's ability to create a game and how that, like, when you build a thing and you can make a game with it, the value of the tool is how far it can get you towards making something like a game. And back then, I was just playing with random values. This doesn't really deal anything with random values as it is now. But it could create that thing with incredible ease and streamlined. So it's, you sort of know where everything would be. So that example with the random values that we had, it is one abstraction layer deeper, so it is more abstract, but it would also be able to do like so much more. I mean, I think your product sells itself basically. People are gonna see it and eat it up. I think you're gonna make a lot from that. As long as you get like the good documentations and maybe good videos for it as well, because it has some complexity to it. Like all those tools, they feel like conveniences, but you also have to show people to use them, because people aren't necessarily used to there being tools. Oh, I never do this part. Oops. Clear children of identities. Oh yes, because here we clear this list, which also would be the case here, because we don't want to show those when we select something else in the scene. Yes! Oh, it worked. It worked. It worked. It was all about resetting shit. So now it's like the tomato. So what? I can go like snowy, select all of identity, and there's nothing snowy in the scene. That I don't believe that. Could it be true? Is nothing of snowy identity? Snowy is just a style, isn't it? Interactable then. No interactable? Oh, we are under prop styles. So that's just me as a designer being silly, I think. If we go to like a pickup and we ask for, say, a cool sword, we get the selection of, funnily enough, this guy seems to be a cool sword, which is exactly what he is right now. This is so good. This is so good. Door. Yes, it works. It works. TV. Yes. Okay, TV. Fuck yeah. What are these? Containers. Okay. Container. Select all of identity. And here's the glorious thing about these being data tables, is that if you ever feel like you're getting confused, you can create another data table and you have that selection over here, like a limited selection of those things. You might have to adjust your system to take those data tables as all of them being, say, your interactables, but yeah. I don't think you can select by this. It's not technically an identity. Yeah, no. These don't really have an identity as such. You need help, marketing help? I'll need marketing help. We all need marketing help, I feel. The only person I know in chat here that has like some real marketing experience, even if by proxy more than maybe directly, maybe? Oh, I guess I'd say directly as well. It would have to be Texcellency, who's probably out there lurking, just cleaning his apartment and stuff. Is that? Like, do we just get the comments ready then? Pack it all up? Put a bow on it? Figure out what to do about this? I think I don't like it, but it's like we almost have to. Because if that's hidden, nobody is going to be able to figure out to unhook this like this. It freaks me out, so it's gonna freak other people out. And people might even be like having them like this because they don't unfold properly for some reason. It's hard to test for, yeah. So it's gotta be like 1 seems to be like the number that sort of works when it shows it. Oh, of course. You have a copy with the exact setup already, right? I sent you on Discord the entire like system. You should have a link. And it has the exact same problem, really. It would be really good if we could figure that out and crop that somehow, or like make this always be unfolded. Because it is like one of the biggest like gotchas. I suppose another way to think of it is we could reconstruct selection entirely with selectable fields and update them as you select another data table and have that. That feels wild to me. I'm pretty sure it's possible, right? It would take quite a lot, I think, to get there. But I think it's in the realm of possibility to get all of the data tables, read the entries, populate a selection list, grab the selection from the mouse, click on that thing like we did with the associated identities over here, and then get that done. So a worst case scenario, we can do that. I also think that would be for like an update. I don't think I want to get there and do that now. But I'm pretty sure you could do something like that. And then we could forego all of this silliness. So let's see, what would it be like to just exist in the world of Tact as an editor? You're zooming around, you created your identities. Select something in the world. And you're like, I want to get all the associated entities, and then you're like, I want to work on what a container is, and you go there and you work on what a container is, you create that. You have your prop styles and everything. And we could have a button to open the identity table we have over here. Right? That could be yeah, I think that's a good button to have, like open specific table. Let's make that. That should be really simple to make, I think. Falls under these, basically. Open bracket? I've never seen this. Actually, what is that? A message to data table. I guess it's just a generic message. Opens an interaction bracket used for combining a set of controller actions. Broadcast to e-anim data mode notify type bracket open notify. So bracket open is an animation notify window. This can be used by any views or dependent system to hold any unnecessary or invalid operations until the last bracket is closed. Animation data controller. I want to look this up, what this is. Not now though, because I'm in the flow here. Wow. Okay, that's how you do it. I forgot. Does this work? Yes, okay. Okay, cool. Very cool. Thank you, Nightbot. Thank you for being so considerate of us. So now, if we want to edit the style as well, we can just open that and we can go to it. So now it's even less like you don't have to deal with so much other stuff. You can just be here. And you can say, "You there! You there!" Okay. Yeah, right, because this is style selection. It's not... Here's the thing. I almost assumed that the thing I press first, that it would get the identity of the thing I'm pressing in the view. And then updating this to match. Would that be a lot to ask? Isik, I think I need your expertise here. Is this possible, you think? Is it possible to click something in the editor and have the widget update with the data table that's associated with it? I suppose there's really several data tables that it could be associated with. But the idea would be like, because I was thinking of ways that this could feel like a better workflow. It would be you click on the thing and this field updates. Because right now, because I was working with tomatoes, that's one thing. Maybe that's not even wanted behavior, because it's better to be mindful, and if you're working with tomatoes, you might not want to change that just by clicking. Should be possible, you think? How do you communicate like a line trace in editor to your widget? Or whatever that would have to be. I do not understand. Like, how do you get like an on-click action from something if it's not like listening to, like, I don't know. Yeah, but I don't want to click an extra button. I want to be like, click once, get it. Do I have to like run something that's looking for me clicking on something? I mean, right now, because you can do everything like that right now, basically. I would say, like, you can't change it to this style, but you change it over here. It's like a reverse lookup of this, where you would say, get the identity. I mean, get associated identities gets the identity of the thing you're looking at already. And then this opens the table for it. But of course, if I could have a click and it automatically gets the associated identities of the thing that I just clicked on, that would be amazing. Because that's just, you know, it is faster than having to click. There should be a delegate in the widget. Because these aren't actor, like they're actors, but like I can't. Editor selection updated. Well, no, like a pre-construct. Select bind. Yeah. Because that could change like the way, like we could make things faster for people, which is all that I'm about. On select. Oh, interesting. This is something that might simplify some of the logic we have, but not now. Let me see. Yeah. Thank you. Binds, animations, visibility change, actor binding. Binds the actor to the variant, internally creating a variant object binding. Can I loop through all of the objects and look for like a click event on them? Like, as an example. Is that a thing you can do? I mean, I guess, is this stupid? I have this fear that like this binding might be heavy. Custom event. On actor clicked. All actors in the world. Selection changed event and or selection object event. Assign on selection changed in sequencer and events. What are you expecting? Newer blueprint menu system acts simply as delegate with an attached custom event node spawn in post placed new node. I don't know where this is from. But the newer blueprint menu system. Isn't this from like, oh, it's a list view object. Okay, so yes. They are events from list view objects. That's what I can find out about those. I'm gonna save before I go deep into this rabbit hole here. I'm about to corrupt something here, I feel. fucking binding to an on-click on all actors in a scene. Wild. Let's bring up the... because we probably can't see it in the window anyways, but it should post to the output log. I don't think that works. Maybe it needs to be editor context. This. It would be crazy to find that, like to figure this out. It would be so cool to do. Right? Maybe this needs to be in the same context. What is it actually saying when I compile? Let's move something around. Yeah, nothing that I can tell. This would be one of those things where people are like, whoa, that is cool. How does it do it? Yeah, I can find event on clicked, you know, because all these guys, all actors have an on clicked event. But I think on clicked also relies on you need the controller to have the thing be clickable, if that makes any sort of sense. So I think that's like relying on in-game stuff. Level editor subsystem. Click. Bind event to on-clicked. No, right, I'm click. Select. No. The top usually has the dispatcher parse, but not here, obviously. Asset manager, asset data. Capturable property. Transactions is what they are. Editor scripting. You got it? Yo. Yo. What's the T? What's the T? Get selection set. On selection change. Pre-selection. I'm on selection change, I'm assuming. If this works, it's so fucking cool. Oh, I get 2 executions. Don't know why that is, but it works. Oh, that is so cool. We can do so many cool stuff. Cool. Wow. Wow. Does it get maybe called once for the old and once for the new? I don't know exactly why it fires twice. It doesn't matter, I think. I don't think it matters that it looks to fire twice. So what do I do with this? This is a fun tool. I'm thinking of a boolean that says active selection mode, that when you click that, it will just like update this field with the table you're at. That way you can choose what type of interactions you want. That way you're not always bouncing between the identities. If you want to work with, say, you want to make everything tomatoes, but you want to select this and then have that change into something else. That's what I'm thinking right now. That's so cool. Holy shit, Isik, you're a fucking genius. I'm also a genius for asking about it. Because it's sort of a crazy idea, I think. Oh man, the power at our fingertips. What is it called? Checkbox? I think. In a text. Unchecked. Bind to that. Infinite power. Beep. Okay. Active selection mode. Okay. And then we want to ooh. Okay, gotta wrangle some neurons here. How do we reverse look up the table from the thing we've clicked on? Associate identities always brings us to the identity. How do you find the actual table? Maybe it's not that hard. Maybe it's not that hard. Ah, but reverse lookup is fucking, it's not necessarily easy either. Let's add the text while we like sort of cook on that. Nice. I like how they slot in there. I'm not sure why it's specifically in this alignment though. I'm okay with it for now. Let's add a little bit of padding to it. Dude, I am flabbergasted. This mode might be activated by default, maybe. Where's my padding? Checkboxes are retarded. Oh, it's padding on this side. I mean, we can translate this as well, like that, for now. Yeah. Yes, okay. Reverse lookup. So I guess I'm not even certain what we're doing. Because tomato can be part of several different data tables. We could do a reverse lookup for identity more easily than that. Because then it's just like basically getting associated identities, basically. More so than trying to find the data table associated with it. But really, ideally, you click on it, you want to update this field. That's really what we want. And what do we want to update it with? We really want to update it with the... What gives us the most utility? The thing we click on, we want to show its identity, I would say. Active identity selection maybe should be the name. If that's like the thing we're updating. Active identity update. Yeah, I just gotta define that, because we could do a lookup for the data table it's attached to. Right? A thing can have several identities too. So that's why. But the thing is, tomato can be part of here and it can be part of pickup as well, right? Because they have like different associations. So how do we distinguish between one and the other? Like, how do you make that selection? Because it's gonna find several ones, or it can find several ones both under identities and under tables. But what we are really assuming here, if you look at the tags again, what we're really interested in here I mean, I could imagine a world where you display all of them in an array sort of style. But arrays you have to unfold further than you do this, and that would be cumbersome. I'm not really happy about that. So I have several editable fields. It would have to be one for each. We'd have to display one editable field for each. We can create that, We can spawn as many of these as possible as we need, depending on how many identities there are. So instead of this being like a static, we spawn it. We create like a sub widget for this, and we spawn those when you click on them. And then you get all of them. I think this is gonna have to cook for another stream. And like, yeah, because I'd rather spend another 1-2 weeks thinking about how it's going to be made in the best way possible than just running in a direction with this new power. Because that's what TAC Core is all about, is like steadily making like a good, solid foundation. Bind to clicking actors. So let's do some commenting, and I think I'm gonna start wrapping up stream in a bit. But we'll do a little bit of like cleanup, commenting, stuff like that before we wrap things up. And also I get some time to think and come down and talk to you guys a little bit. But this is exciting. This is very, very exciting. We'd have to do this actually for all those objects. We need to set the object, because these ones didn't do it. But that could be part of the sub widget, so we might be able to do that pre-construct instead. In it. Property. Yeah. Where's size? There it is. We did a lot of exciting tooling stuff this stream. Very happy about today. Very, very happy. This was like the crowning moment, really. Getting this idea and like, yeah. Let's name these buttons what they're supposed to be as well. Good. We can merge these together a little bit. Open. I didn't do mappings. I can't wait for Epic to complain about something on this. Like how everything is like organized and then literally their own shit is much worse. Love it. It's gonna be lovely. Super looking forward to that. What is this doing? Data table. Open, yeah. See, because the thing isn't named what it's supposed to be named yet. That's a bad sign. Open. Checkbox for, what did we call it here? We're gonna rename it Active Identity Update. Mode, yeah, let's add mode on there. For once, it doesn't look like a gun. I can make it look like a gun, but I'm not gonna do that. The patterns will emerge by themselves when it's time. Right, now let's step through and name these things. Select styleable makes sense. Select apply style. Apply style, apply identity, that's correct. Get identities. Go to identities. Here we go. Button, open, select the table, button, go to identities. CHK, check activate identity update. It's pretty good. Let's look at them. Identity update, select out of a table, go to identities. Wait. Go to identities, go to select the table, go to identity table. Okay, so that's the mappings. And let's move these a little bit. Mindstorm. Get identities. Set identity on actor is not set, so button style 3, this one. Yeah, okay. That works. Apply identity. Style. Select identity. Style selectable. Select styleable, I mean, and then style. Pre-construct. Nice thing with these being button events, I don't have to click them and do any naming on them. We did add a few new functions, so let's look at those. Mainly here. Cleanliness. I heard a comment yesterday that how you do the little things is how you do everything. And it makes sort of sense, I think. I'm bad at that. Like I tend to think big picture a lot. And then slowly, like an AI, I just fizzle out the noise. And then eventually a full picture comes through. Generic set style on custom data. Right? Where's the style? Did we? No, here's the style params. Oh yeah, style. Not on custom data, sorry, that's the parameters. That might be a problem because I got confused by it. Set style on actor tag. Set actor tag to style. Selected style. And this will also serve as the comment for the input description. Go back here. Set style params on primitive. And it really is what it says. I'm used to highlighting everything that's like a word that you can look up in the entire project, so to speak. Like it's used the same across everything. On primitives, custom data. Oh, this is kind of dirty. We do have to go and clean these up, but I'm not going to do that this stream. I think that's for next stream. Like, a lot of this can look much better. But this also requires a return node. That actually requires two. It's not a loop. It doesn't exist in a loop, does it? Well, it doesn't actually matter. Not for this one. It actually needs it. Actor is just like highlighted in general. I think that's what's expected of an actor. Oh, the style params, they're also centered here. Yes, they are on the big cross in the center. And this one too, so all of them are. I probably forgot now to set the description. On actor tag. There's something very meditative about going through like the paces of this. That's all of them. That's all the new functions that we made today. Tool has increased its flexibility by a lot. it's easy to see what sort of thing you would have to expand here for several different like interactions if you want more than just skeletal meshes and static meshes. Yeah. Lots of good shit. And you were here for it. Okie dokie. Think that's gonna be it. Oh, let me talk to you guys proper here. Boom, boom. Whoa. Save that. Fucking tact core is gonna be a beast. I was gonna do $20 for this. That was the idea for the price point. It really is like more powerful than a lot of the stuff you find out there in terms of, I think, how it can help you create something. 25 maybe. But it's not a lot of blueprinting, that's the thing. It's just a lot of thinking for you. Doing the thinking so you don't have to. What do you guys think? Like maybe 25. It's a good price point. Which is ridiculous because Dynasthir is gonna be something like 30. So, few months development, 20, 25. Like 11, 13 years of development, 30. Maybe it's a little bit like skewed in that perspective. So weird that you can like sell, like people can like sell like an asset, like a pack of characters they made, they worked like a year for like $100, and then you have a game for like 60. Of course, like you have to say that Citypack, yeah. So, but to be fair, there are more gamers than there are game developers, even though game developers has become a pretty big crowd, right? It's almost like you probably have some form of statistic that's like, here are basically some number of all developers, but then, you know, a majority of developers also overlap with, they also overlap to some degree with how many, like there's, you can be game developer and gamer, so there's some overlap there. But arguably there are more gamers because the game developers are probably also gamers. I wonder how many game developers there are that do not play games. That's an interesting statistic. Let's see. How many game Let's ask ChatGPT about this. Let's collect the information for me, please. New chat. By some approximation, to your best guess, as a expert mathematician, how many game developers do not, across the world, do not play games? According to ChatGPT. Approximated number of game developers who don't play games requires some heavy assumptions and touch. Yes, that's what I thought too. As of 2024, it's estimated roughly 3 to 4 million professional game developers globally. So we're 4 million? half of Sweden's population, a little bit more, or a little bit less. Why would developer not personal burnout, philosophical reason, time constraint, disinterest in games? Let's assume 80 to 90% of game developers play games regular, at least occasionally, at least 10 to 20% rarely. So, very approximately, according to ChatGPT, about 500,000 to 700,000 game developers might not play games. So, hold on. What other data could you collect to make a better assumption? Because I think we can get a better guess here. Ooh, a new episode of Bleach Sennen Kesenhai is just released. Cool, I know what to do after stream. But also after stream, I'm gonna develop Dynasthir, so there's that. Okay, let's read the answer here. So there's a long answer here. We can do a survey, analysis of the job roles, cultural context, time use studies, game development history, studio data. Okay. So do that and give me an estimate. Since we can't conduct a full global survey, here's what we got. Hypothetical data and assumptions. I'm not looking for that. Let's not be hypothetical. Let's try with what data we have. To the best of our knowledge of papers and metadata around the internet. There's some studies, but nothing exactly like it, according to this. So somewhere between 5 to 15%, which falls around that 500,000. So our best guess? I'm gonna say it's probably a pretty good estimation. I'd like to think there's less. 250,000 maybe developers that don't play games. Fascinating. That's the very low end, and I guess the high end would be the million. If that's best from ChatGPT, and that's me being, you know, positive about people actually playing game. But out of our 4 million people of game developers, and 250,000 that don't play games. Then it's also a question of who is a game developer, because I don't think we should like count producers and stuff like that. Working in games is not the same as being a game developer. I don't think so. Right? You count producers. Or like, yeah, directors definitely. But those who like do the production of the physical media stuff, for instance, or production and marketing, those aren't game developers. Those marketing and production. When I say production, I tend to think of producing the thing, and then it does sound like a game developer. Yeah. Maybe we should conduct a worldwide study on this. If I was in uni, that would be kind of like a fun thing to try to do, like get as many people and as much data as possible from different studios and see like how many actually play games. Like anonymously. Closing out for today, we got not only one, hold on, that's, I'm only watching, not only one, but 2 new wish lists. I expect that number to be 1 or 2 more for some reasons. I've shared with people some information and stuff lately. So that should be higher by next time we do this. Next stream. Cross fingers. I'm still planning. Should be next week. And it will be a marathon until we hit 350 wishlists. So I'm just gonna be here for as long as I have the power and capacity until we hit 350. And for that, again, we're gonna return to Dynasthir and do sort of what we did last time, where I'm gonna be playing the demo as it is currently, talking about its features, things we might want to change, implement, zooming around a little bit with our development camera and talk about the designs of things and have a merry chat about that. I might go a little bit between that and editor work. We might definitely play some games. Yeah, to keep some variety going. We might play some of the games that inspired Dynasthir. So we might be looking at potentially playing some Morrowind, potentially playing some Demon Souls for a PS3, if I can set that up properly and it runs well without killing my computer. But yeah, basically get that wishlist part in there. Yeah, it should be exciting, I think. Might be looking at playing some original Dragon's Dogma, maybe. Because there are parts there that inspired us there for sure. I'm not really good at Dragon's Dogma, so I might I might hand off the stream to Wolfgang and he can play a little bit and we can watch, because he's really good at Dragon's Dogma 1. Wolfgang, I'm pulling you into my plans here again. As if pulling him into Dynasthir as a plan wasn't enough already. Okay, guys. Okay, guys. Back to overloading. Back to the British overlord style. You guys have been amazing as always. I can't do it, man. I'm not British enough. You guys appreciate the chat, appreciate the lurk. I look forward to the next stream. Should be a fun one. Depending on how that works, I might only do one next week, maybe two, but I'm heading into sort of Christmas mode, and there's lots of events and things I want to get into and be able to have time and focus on. So we'll see. And also Dynasthir is, we're trying to head for like a really tight deadline, I would say, that I set for ourselves basically, or that we set for ourselves. So with everything that has to be done, I need to like super focus. So we'll see if there's one or two next week. If there is, there's gonna be Tuesday and Saturday for sure. That's just the days that work out well for me. The Tuesday could change if some other parameters change around it, but I don't think so. And I think the big let me actually, I can't look at the dates right now. I don't have them in front of me, but I have some big dates that I want to knock off properly. So if that intersects, I might change to Tuesday, but it should be Tuesday and Saturday. Cross my fingers, hope to die. In other exciting news, we've been sending out voice acting like application stuff to like from Fiverr, and we're getting some samples back by Tuesday. It's going to be exciting to check out, and a friend of ours have said that they would help out with some of the casting parts, like helping if it comes to that. So exciting stuff. I hope your life continues to be great as well. I'm currently having lots of fun with this. So, all right. You guys take care. Have some great fucking holidays. If I don't see you more, well, some of you I know I'm gonna see more. Excellency, there you are. Let's Let's make a good fucking weekend. Or like you guys have a good fucking weekend. I'm gonna... Probably tomorrow is a resting day. Which means only working for maybe 6 hours. For now. Let's do it. Let's have a fucking good life. And I will see you all next week in some form. If you guys also join for that. And remember to play, and I always forget to bring the screen up. Very professional. Take 2. Are you with me? You guys know the words by now. You guys know the words by now. You guys, remember to play and enjoy.